Good afternoon. I'm Tracey. I'm the parent of one of the players of violin. Violin. When it was first introduced to our children, I remember them in grade R, they were so small. Then Maria called us and introduced herself, and we do not understand what you're talking about. Because in the township, we are not used to violins. We do not even know, we think that is a guitar. So, because we used to drums, yes, if they said drums, then we would have understood, but we couldn't understand. But yeah, Maria taught our children from grade R. She was very patient with them. It was a tough journey for us as parents because we stay in the township. Some of us stay in Khayelitsha. Khayelitsha is very far. It's the furthest township in Cape Town. So, and it's quite huge, and there is lots of violence in Khayelitsha. So it was a greatest opportunity for our children to be moved from that township mode or attitude and be preserved to come to town and to participate in violin. Because when they started to play violin, they actually build their self-confidence. And also, actually, they also learned something new. And they were not focused on the things that were happening around them. They were so focused on the violin. And it took them away from the trauma or from the violence, from teenage pregnancies. We experienced lots of things in the township. But because of violin, our children, they are 13 now, years old, they are teenagers. I'm a nurse by profession. I see young kids, 10-year-old, 11-year-old being pregnant. So it's not nice for a parent to see a child. And even young boys, they are involved in drug abuse, but our children are preserved because of the violin. We are proud parents because of the violin. Maria and her team, they put such a lot on our children. And it was a huge sacrifice because most of them also, they are parents. She introduced you to Karina and them. They are parents. They've got other things that they do, but they put their time, I would say 90% of their time to our children. And they have became like parents to them, second parents to them. So I can say a lot about violin. I can say a lot, and I've spoken to one or two, and I interviewed them and asked them, are you going to continue? You better continue. They say yes. And we are seeing stars, you see, and to have an African child playing such instrument, it's a privilege for us. It is the greatest privilege for us. So I'm sitting here as a proud mother, and also on behalf of the parents, I would like to thank Muzukidz what they have done for our children, and I wish and my hope is that you will take them further into the journey of music and everything. The sponsors, when Maria goes to Germany or France or wherever, the sponsors that they respond to the requests, we like to thank you, because where our children now, even the violin is very expensive. When I asked Maria, oh, how much is this thing? When she told me about how much is it, I was like, oh, some of the parents, we were scratching our heads like, we cannot afford this. But because of the sponsorships, our children are able to have an instrument that they own. and they love it. It's their second best friend. My child says my best friend, and I must, when I clean my house, say, please handle it with care. She instructs me. So it's like, yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much to Maria and the team, everybody that has involved themselves to our children's journey into music. Thank you. Violin for us, for me specifically, yeah, I love music. I grew up in a household of music, but when it comes to violin, I always say to the white African, South Africans, it's like that instrument is for the white people. It's not for us African black people. So that's why we never put ourselves into interest in it. Yes, when we saw white people playing drums, we will be excited because it's something that we understand and we can dance on it. And so being working in a journey for 8 years, understanding the instrument, I began to fall in love with it. I said, actually, this is a nice instrument. I try my daughter to teach me how to play it. She says, you don't know how to handle it. Yeah, but yes, it is a very nice instrument. It's a very spiritual. It touches your inner soul. Yes, because that harmony of it is like, it moves you, it takes you to better place. I also physically, because the mind, it works with your physique. So with the child, when that music, you play the violin, it actually builds up the mind and set the mind into a nice atmosphere. Because, so as I said before, the township, there is lots of noise. So when a child plays violin, he escapes from that noise and focus on this harmony that brings nice atmosphere. This generation, you know, I always say to my children, I say, you are so fortunate to grow up in your generation. Because the things that you are experiencing, we never experienced, and how we were brought up, there were some certain things that you were not allowed to do, some certain places that you were not allowed to go into because it's for certain people. But with this generation, they are very exploring, and I see them like, when I see these young kids, it's like, wow, this is actually the true South African dream that we hoped for, and I think also our parents hoped for. This is it. This is it. As much as what is happening around the world now, but our children are showing us that it can be done. It can be done. It is possible. It is possible. We can live in harmony. We can live in, and music is the source of bringing all generations, all tribes together. So, yeah.